Good morning. I am Viswanath, Assistant Professor from EEE Department. In this session, I am going to discuss about tutorial question bank questions from Module 5 for the subject Power Generation Systems and Academic Aspects. So, first question is from the type of problem solving and critical thinking questions. So, demonstrate grid interface problems of renewable energy integration. So, renewable energy integration, energy sources such as solar and wind are integrated with electrical grid through power electronic converters and control systems, and proper grid interface requirements are necessary to ensure that is a good that is a stable operation, good power quality and reliable power supply, safe synchronization with the utility grid, and need for interface requirements, that is intermittent renewable energy sources are as they are intermittent and variable in power output and are operating on converter based operation. So we need to have some special interface requirements to maintain grid stability and reliability. So the requirement and then description. The voltage regulation is voltage regulation in order to maintain grid voltage within permissible limits. Voltage requirements is needed, and frequency control. Maintain system frequency stability, and third one is synchronization to match voltage, frequency, and phase sequence and phase angle with grid. So voltage is anyway we know that is voltage must be within certain limits. That is variations must be within certain limits, and similarly frequency and phase sequence. The order in which the positive peak occurs is defined as phase sequence, and this is having two types of phase sequence. One is positive phase sequence and negative phase sequence. Let us say first positive phase sequence, positive maximum is obtained for phase R, and the next highest, that is positive peak, is obtained by phase Y, and then phase B. Then it is said to be phase sequence of RYB. And if any one of the two phases are interchanged, let us say these two are interchanged. Now, first positive peak is R, and then next positive peak is going to be occurred by the phase B, and then it is by Y. So this is known as one is positive phase sequence and another one is negative phase sequence. So we need to take care of this synchronization, that is phase sequence, while we need to connect the existing power production to the grid. And then next one is phase angle with the grid. And next one is power quality. It reduces power quality is ensured with the reduction in harmonics, flickering and distortion, and reactive power support, that is maintain proper power factor and voltage stability, and protection system is protect grid and renewable plant during the faults, and islanding prevention, disconnect the renewable source during the grid outage, that is we are operating the power plant, that is wind energy power plant, as in islanding mode of operation. Once power production is there, we can supply it to the existing consumers, and once the power production is going to stop, we need to disconnect the load to the source. And next one is fault ride through, that is continue operation during temporary faults. And next one is communication and monitoring, that is which enable smart grid operation and remote control. That is we can on and off a load during a particular time by using IoT things of operation, which is preferred in recent years. And grid code compliance follow utility and national standards. as we are following the one grid, one nation concept, the grid compliance is to follow only one standards in case of voltage, current, and frequency and other parameters. So synchronization requirements are before connecting renewable generator to the grid, voltage magnitudes must watch. These are the points to be taken care of, and frequency must match, and phase sequence is identical, and phase angle difference should be minimum. And why it is important? So it prevents from severe current surges and equipment damage and instability. And the next one is voltage regulation. Renewable energy output fluctuations cause voltage variations, and requirements are maintain voltage within a specified range, and use voltage controllers and FACTS devices. And the FACTS devices, that is flexible AC transmission system devices, or STATCOM, that is a static compensator, SVC, and static wear compensator, and then tap changing transformers. And next one is frequency control. Grid frequency changes due to mismatch between generation and load, and requirements are here. Renewable systems should support frequency stability, and modern inverters provide frequency response support, and reactive power compensation. Wind turbines and converters may consume reactive power. So the requirements are here to maintain power factor near to the unity, and to support the grid voltage. So methods to improve or to correct the power factor is capacitor bank, and STATCOM, and synchronous condenser. Synchronous condenser is the synchronous motor when operated under no load conditions and at overexcited conditions. We have three different types of excitations. One is normal excitation, and second one is under excitation, and third one is over excitation in case of induction, that is in case of synchronous motor. So when synchronous motor is operated at overexcited conditions, and another point is no load, is said to be synchronous condenser, which is going to improve the power factor. And next one is harmonic control. Power electronic converters generate harmonics, and the requirements are here. Total harmonic distortion should remain within IEEE 519 limits, and methods to reduce this harmonic distortion is passive filters, active filters, and PWM control techniques. And last one is protection. Next one is protection requirements. Protection systems isolate the fault section from healthy sections. So this is needed because of overcurrent, over voltage, and under frequency, and earth fault protection, and anti islanding protection. And next one is anti islanding protection. In islanding operation, that is occurs when renewable source continues to supply only local load after grid disconnection. So requirements for this operation is a renewable plant must disconnect automatically during grid failure. Then only we can supply to the same power to the local load operations. And next one is fault ride through, and modern grid codes require renewable energy plants to remain connected during temporary voltage dips, and types are here: voltage, low voltage ride through, and high voltage ride through. And importance is here: improves grid stability, and prevents sudden loss of generation. And power factor control is renewable plants should operate within a specified power factor range, and requirement is generally 0.952 unity. And the next one is energy storage integration. And energy systems help smoothing renewable output, and the types of energy storage systems are batteries, flywheels, and pumped hydro storage mechanism. And benefits are here: frequency support, voltage stabilization, and peak shaving. That is, when the existing customers are operating with maximum load during, let us say, 2 hours in a span of 24 hours, some part of the load is going to be shifted to another, or the power generation systems need to provide that excess amount of power when we have energy storage systems. And the next one is communication and monitoring. Modern renewable plants use SCADA systems, supervisory control, and data acquisition systems. With this, it is possible to have real-time monitoring and remote operation and fault diagnosis. And next one is grid code compliance. Grid code compliance includes renewable plants must satisfy national grid standards regarding voltage limits, frequency limits, and then harmonic distortion, fault ride-through capability, and reactive power support. And in India, it is monitored by Central Electricity Authority (CEA) and Ministry of New Renewable Energy. And these are the different problems and their impact. That is intermittent generation, and the impact is here: frequency instability and harmonics are going to cause poor voltage, poor power quality, and reactive power demand is going to cause voltage fluctuations, and weak grid connection is going to cause instability, and finally low inertia is going to impact faster frequency deviation. And enlist the different factors affecting cost of generation and elucidate, that is, tabulate is the meaning of examiner, and what are the factors and their explanation. You need not to reproduce as it is, that is, a student need not to reproduce as it is. Depending on the marks and time allotted to the question, we need to answer. Anyway, we are discussing all the factors here. So initial capital cost, cost of land, building, machinery, equipment, and installation, and cost of fuel. Fuel is the major operating expense in thermal and nuclear power plants. And operation and maintenance includes repairs, lubrication, maintenance, and others. Plant efficiency. Higher efficiency is going to reduce the fuel consumption, which we can transfer to the consumers as the lesser cost per kilowatt hour. And load factor, higher load factors are going to reduce the cost per unit. And capacity factor indicates the utilization of installed capacity. And diversity factor, better diversity reduces maximum demand and the required plant capacity. And demand factor is the ratio of maximum demand to connected load. So lower demand may increase installed capacity requirements. And plant location is based on the availability of fuel, transportation, and the overall generation cost, and type of power plant, interest and depreciation, transmission and distribution cost. Sometimes it may be unavoidable in order to get higher power needs, and reliability requirements, and cost of cooling water, and government policies and taxes, and environmental protection measures. Those are going to be reduced with the help of ESPs, scrubbers, and ash handling mechanisms, which are going to increase the cost. And reserve capacity, labor cost, and availability of technology, inflation, and economic conditions. These are the different factors going to affect the generation. And next one is, what are the three parts of the cost of electrical energy? That is, total cost of electrical energy is including the three parameters. One is fixed cost, and second one is semi-fixed cost, and third one is running cost. Fixed cost includes the includes capital, depreciation, taxes, insurance, and the salaries of permanent staff, and the maintenance of building equipments. And semi-fixed cost include the salaries of operating staff, and routine maintenance and administrative expenses. And running costs, these are vary directly with respect to the amount of electricity generated. This includes fuel cost, water charges, lubrication, oil, and consumable materials, and maintenance during operation. So, what is the area under daily load curve gives? The area under daily load curve gives the total electricity generated or consumed during the day. That it is mathematically represented as E is equal to integration of P over a given time dt. So, where E is the energy generated or consumed, and P is the total load or power, T is the time, and units in kilowatts, that is load is mentioned in kilowatts, and time in hours. So the area gives in terms of kilowatt hours. And if you go to one small example, if the average load is for 24 hours is 50 megawatts, energy consumed over that time is total average load multiplied by 10 is 1200 megawatt hours. Hence the area under the daily load curve represents a total energy requirement. With this, I am going to conclude this session where we discussed about tutorial bank questions, how a student is asked, and what is expected from the examiner point of view. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.